This voluntarily project was created for the Euro-Arab Council Center for Multiculturalism. I was born in Iraq. I spent my childhood witnessing wars and hate, then moved to Europe to seek a better life. I succeeded and settled in Norway. However, I was lost and didn't understand my purpose. I felt that I was always been told what to do and how to function in the society. But for me, life was much more than that. One day, while I was at school, I was reading the history book. And on the first page, there was a chapter called The Cradle of Civilizations, Ancient Mesopotamia. You see, in our modern times, I felt sometimes ashamed to say that I'm from Iraq, because what does anyone know about Iraq really besides the wars and killings? I was shocked about what my ancestors did to humanity, and that started a spark in me. My real passion was to really understand what has actually happened and how we downgraded so far, so no one has to go through it all again. The more I started researching, the more I started discovering how powerful those ancient civilizations were. Welcome to Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. Here is where the first civilization began. The first creation story, the Enuma Elish, the first story of a fallen man named Adaba or Adamu, the story of the deluge, and the Sumerian king Ziusidra in the Epic of Gilgamesh, and how the earth was under a big flood. These scriptures are revealing to us our human origins, and yet we ignore them completely. Let me name some of the achievements of the ancient Sumerian civilization. Knowledge about the solar system, calculation, the 60-second time system and the 60-minute system, writings, cuneiform writings on clay tablets, sailboats, kingdomship, calendar, 12 months a year, the law of Ur-Nammu, the first written law governing the Sumerian society, board games, engineering, building temples and zakuras with high accuracy, astronomy, the zodiac signs were developed later by the Greeks, irrigation, using water from rivers and building irrigation canals for agriculture, plowing the soil before planting, the map, the harp, the first stringed musical instrument, the wheel. I named those achievements not to brag, but to remind us where humanity started. Here is where we started. Here is where the truth is lying below the ashes. I was really curious while researching some topics related to holistic wellness, consciousness, spirituality, and ancient civilizations, because believe it or not, they all relate to each other. And how can I talk about the history of mankind without naming ancient Egypt? I spent 6 months on the ground in Egypt to really understand what has happened here. Were the stories about the pyramids true? The purpose of those gigantic buildings is still a big mystery today. More than 2,300,000 limestone and granite blocks were used to the Great Pyramid. On top of that, it has chambers, secret pathways, a basement, tunnels. It was built in a magnificent way. I went to the pyramid twice to just feel and really sense the place, and each time that I go there are more details and there's like more secrets and more knowledge to be discovered. The temples from north to south, each temple has an amazing story, a presentation of sophisticated engineering, knowledge and wisdom, cosmic energy, astronomy, astrology, spirituality and religion. Ancient Egypt has amazed me in every way, full of mysteries and secrets. It is extremely important to our lost human history. What really got my attention in Egypt, the story of the destroyed and burned temples. You see, each temple that I visited, there is always some type of like either fabrication or the temple was like destroyed on will. Now the stories really varies from the kings themselves. Each king wants to have the temple, the status to him or to herself, or the stories varies from different generations or different occupations from different nations that did that to change and manipulate the history. I saw the same exact thing in ancient Mesopotamia when I visited Babylon. You see, the Lion of Babylon has been also destroyed for some reason. His face was degraded. It was broken to erase and manipulate history for personal gain and domination. My question is, if our ancestors have been doing that since the beginning of all times, how is it today? Do we really know our origins and history? Or perhaps that everything we've been told about our history has been manipulated? When I was a kid, I always asked myself this question: how can we hurt each other and justify it? Is that how the Creator, God, the universe, created us in His image? To fight each other? What's the purpose behind all of this suffering? A victory for one race over the other? If so, why we were created this way? With different colors, races, beliefs? You see, I always asked myself as a kid how the world would be if we lived in harmony and peace. What can we do and reach? Instead of destroying each other, we can build the planet together. Haven't we learned from world wars, from pandemics, that we must unite to heal our planet? And to take a break from this vicious cycle of civilization rising and falling, we must learn from the past. A quote that I really like by Hermes Trismegistus: as above, so below, as within, so without. I truly believe that our thoughts and attention are very important. A new collective consciousness is needed. The new generation of awakened minds will arise from the ashes to reveal and discover the truth. We are not afraid anymore. We are here to bring humanity to harmony, to understand that we are all one, no matter the color, religion, race. World peace is now needed more than ever. Unconditional love for every living thing on this planet should be our main principle and priority if we really want to sustain and evolve our planet. I ask the viewers and the international community to do whatever you can to protect our lost human history, to protect the archaeological sites in Iraq, especially Eridu, Ur in Nasriya, and Babylon in Hilla. So one day we can search and discover the lost and forgotten knowledge of our human history and origins.